Hey, we're back in the top again today with another controversial video. But why is it controversial? Well, it's because we're going over my opinions again. And you know how well we react to other people's opinions. A few weeks ago, we went over my top 5 Generation 4 Pokemon. It's been too long. Has it really been? But I did say I want to continue on to Generation 5, so we'll jump to Unova to reveal my favorites. Remember, this is opinion-based, so while you can roast me in the comments section below, I'd recommend sharing your opinion on your favorites from Unova in the comments below. But that's beside the point. Let's go ahead and dive into my top 5 Generation 5 Pokemon from Pokemon Black and White. As you know from previous videos, these Pokemon usually have some sentimental memory as well as a bit of a design and battle prowess edge thrown in there too. It's all up to these 3 things to decide who is in each top 5, and starting off said top 5 is Chandelure. If you remember from Generation 4, I mentioned the Dual Core with Roserade. Well, this is the other half of said Dual Core. Usually in every generation, a pair of Pokemon jump into the limelight, and that was no different in Generation 6. Keep in mind, it doesn't have to be Pokemon from that generation to achieve such a feat. Regardless, it's a very strong Pokemon to use in battle, and its design is grand enough to stand out. And to people who hate it due to it being an inanimate object, Magnemite is just a bunch of magnets. Do your homework. Huge backstory alert! Long ago on my channel, like I said in the Generation 4 video, Gallade used to be my mascot. I had it for quite some time. Nearly a year, but in the end, I changed it due to not wanting to share the same mascot. I wanted to stand out. I wanted a Pokemon that would stand out, that nobody has ever used. All the while, they are still bipedal. It's easier to work with a concept that's on 2 legs, you know. By now, you should already know it's Duat, but since this series focuses in on the final evolutions, it goes to Samurott in its stead. Funny part of this is, I used Samurott in both White and White 2 in the original games. So not only is it my mascot, it was my favorite of the Generation 5 starters back in the day. I still like its design, hence why I ended up picking Duat as my mascot. This is where we get into the nitty-gritty. These are the real Pokemon that stood out to me since Generation 5's launch back in March 2011. We're gonna start off with the lesser of the 3, but still a very good Pokemon, Hydreigon. Don't think because it's 3rd, I hate it. Remember, this is not a roast. This is me highlighting my favorites. But Hydreigon's design is what launches it up into number 3. Not many memories, though it's a Swiss Army knife when it comes to battling. But like I said, its design by itself is what brings it up. And when I say Swiss Army knife though, I really mean it can do many things. I've used it specially offensive, specially defensive, physically defensive. It's a great tool that can be used in so many ways. You can even use it physically offensive. And I haven't yet, but I feel like I would have eventually if I didn't stop Wi-Fi battling, which might return in time for Generation 8's launch. We'll see. Moving on to number 2, this is my most hyped Pokemon coming into Generation 5. When I heard about it through the Korokoro leaks in July 2010, I was ecstatic. Braviary, an eagle Pokemon, in a region based off of a place in the United States? No, literally, I was wanting an eagle Pokemon for years! It was the first normal/flying type Pokemon that is genuinely powerful without having to lean on its moves or abilities. Base 123 attack is nothing to scoff at. And when I learned Braviary is only available in Pokemon White, well, that's exactly why I picked White as my main game. It wasn't the legendary, it wasn't the story differences, it was the availability of the eagle Pokemon I had long wanted for such a long time. I literally sat on Route 10 for hours training up a Rufflet to get leveled up to my other Pokemon's levels. I even waited for a decent nature. It took such a long time, but it was worth it. And if you thought I was hyped about Braviary, let me tell you, it wasn't until I saw the stat lines of all the Pokemon that I immediately saw another Pokemon I was 100% going to get for my team. Fun fact, out of the 3 Pokemon mentioned here, I used 3 of those in both renditions in Unova. Samurott, Braviary, and my favorite Pokemon from Generation 5, Haxorus. I liked Haxorus' design prior to the stat lines being leaked, due to the Japanese release of the game in September 2010, but then when I learned of its insane base 147 attack stat, I just had to get one for my team. There's such an attachment to this Pokemon that I usually try to catch one in a timer ball. My original Haxorus was in a Timer Ball and was Jolly Nature, which I found on the first try. Lucky me! Although Braviary was much harder to find a decent nature for, but Haxorus, well, I guess it was just meant to be. You get it mid-game, not late game like Braviary, and you can just derail everyone's chances of beating you. I think Haxorus and Hydreigon are single-handedly forced Game Freak to nerf the Dragon type. These two were so good that they brainstormed the perfect response, and the Fairy type appeared. You know, for how much crap I give Black and White Story, they really have some great Pokemon. And with that, those are my top 5 favorite Generation 5 Pokemon. And instead of roasting me in the comments, giving me the Fairy type or something, let me know what your favorite Generation 5 Pokemon are and why. I'd love to hear what you have to say. What's next for this series? Well, Generation 6, of course, but you won't see that until I can't find anything else to post. Just kidding. Really, I am. I hope to continue this sooner than later, and in more ways than one. And if you enjoyed and want to climb to the top, go ahead and smack the like button as high as it can go and subscribe to start the climb today. With that, I want to thank you for watching. I hope to catch you back at the top later on because that is how we do what? Snap, snap.